welcome to the second of these surprisingly weekly Madaxeman.com lockdown podcasts. This week we've used some new tech, so the audio should be better, which those of you who endured the first one I'm absolutely sure will be delighted about. So sit back, or more likely carry on picking up that painting and basing brush, and enjoy this week's chuntering about toy soldiers. Welcome again to the second lockdown Madaxeman podcast. I'm here with Australian Simon.
G'day.
I'm here with Dave Saunders.
Yeah, hello.
And I'm here with a slightly better audio this time from Andy Finkel-kel-kel-kel.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we think Peter's probably got lost on his commute. Possibly got stuck in heavy traffic on the landing. There might have been an incident with a badger on the line just by the outside of the bathroom door or something like that. But he may well join us later, or he may not.
He might be queuing for a toilet roll.
He might be queuing for toilet roll. Well, you know, we were talking last time how he was living in zombie territory. So possibly the disappointing part about this whole pandemic being the lack of zombies. Possibly that has started in London Docklands, where it did on 28 days later. 28 weeks later.
28 weeks later. Well, at least they're handy for the Excel.
No, that's true, actually, yes. Not necessarily a good thing, but that's it. So this is going to be an audio podcast, but this time, through the wonders of technology, we can actually now see each other properly. So, Mr. Saunders, you're actually literally at the painting desk as we speak.
I am sitting here at my painting desk, look.
Yeah, he's got a pint as well. So
wow!
Painting
so that's,
with a pint.
That whole look thing doesn't really work particularly well on an audio podcast. I don't know if you ever known the format before, but what was that? Was that a wagon or something?
Scythian wagon, yes.
So,
Go on, put it up a camera. Show us better.
Yeah, a minute. Let me get closer. Stand up.
Stand up. You are standing up, aren't you, Dave? So is that baggage then, or is that a thing in the army list?
It's baggage. Unfortunately, you're not allowed war wagons in their army list, but it'd be quite good if you could, because I've got 3 of them.
What, 3 Scythian ones?
Yeah, that's what you get in the box, in the bag.
So I presume then if they ever bring out their War and Empire rule set, Scythians would actually have war wagons.
Like, isn't it?
But you're just cramming one onto a 40 by 80.
That's all that would fit on, actually.
Your baggage then. Yeah, otherwise it looked like the settlers racing. Towards the Golden West, going prospecting for gold in the Americana.
If you can make them you could put them in a triangle. That'd be a fortified camp, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be a bit.
Use them as sort of like some sort of on-field fortifications, but we don't have those in ADLG.
No. They'd be quite a big marker as well, wouldn't they? I guess 80 by 40 base with that one. That's it. Good. All right. So has anybody actually managed to do, other than you, Dave, who are literally doing this right now? Anybody managed to do any painting this week?
I've managed to paint something.
That's better than just basing one unit last time.
No. So with the week, since I couldn't go anywhere this weekend because some isolation thing, I've painted up 40 ancient British swordsmen.
40?
Yeah, I got it.
What scale?
They're all 15 mil. So it's an old Essex army that I bought when I was back in Australia, and I brought it back to England last year. So they've all been stripped back to the metal, and so I've painted up to the point of army painted dip onto them. So I've got about 40.
Actually, something I just saw on Twitter earlier on today. So if you were stripping them back, apparently for some reason which I can't work out, Dettol is completely out. It's just sold out in all the supermarkets in the UK at the moment for people actually using it for cleaning surfaces from bacteria.
That's a wrong use of Dettol. I thought it was just a wargaming stripping tool.
Well, I thought so as well until I actually used it, and then found out that I basically had an entire room. In fact, that may have helped isolate against CV-19. Just this all-pervasive stench of Dettol that still, several months later, is infesting this room.
I actually found
probably keeps your missus at bay though.
Yeah, I think it keeps everybody at bay.
Yeah, definitely keep a lot of things at bay. I actually found because I used Dettol for one stripping job, and it was such a failure. I went and looked around, and I found this product called Bio Strip, and you buy like a small ice cream tub, like a tub of margarine size jar, and you can just basically paint onto your miniatures, and it strips. It's non-toxic. It doesn't smell in the house. And since I live in a 1.5 bedroom flat, I can't afford to stink the house out. Yeah, that worked really well. It stripped all the paint and all the lacquer off down to you can actually see the original a lot of the detail back in the models again. So like was
that a hobby product, or was that something that was just repurposed?
I think it's one of these generic, or you can use strippers and all that.
What was it called again?
BioStrip. Please hold while I just bring it up. So it's called BioStrip 20, not to be confused with BioStrip 30. It's called an all-purpose stripper, which makes for some great email jokes.
Yeah, you're not Googling that unless you're very careful, are you?
Yeah. But what I found with it, it's you can get it onto your fingers and it doesn't burn your fingers off, which is quite good. You can just chuck it into like an old, I've got a bunch of old takeaway, like curry plastic containers. Chuck your models in that, slather them in this stuff here, leave them for 4 days, and then with an old scrubbing brush, like a nail brush, you just give a bit of a scrub in a bit of water, and all the paint pulls off. So
and that works really well, because I found the Dettol thing a painful experience. It did just about work, but not. Yeah. There was a lot of scraping needed to be done.
I was really impressed with it. So I'd also used this on. I'd bought when I first moved over from Australia. I'd bought a Merlington medieval army, which Tim, I think you may remember, because it's the first army you and I met each other when you spanked me.
Yeah, in Rome.
Yeah. So I stripped that back completely, and you know how much detail is on the Merlington figures. Yeah. You could actually see all of the puffs and the grooves on the shoulder pads and all that. So you got down to that detail back again. So I thought, that's
really good.
And didn't burn my hands off. So
that's a rare one.
So I've now got the 40 or so heavy foot painted. I've got 6 general chieftain figures, and I've got the first 6 of the chariots painted up.
Without looking at the list, I think I once played against an ancient British army, and I thought they'd largely medium foot rather than heavy.
You can because this army is from an old DBM army, so I've got quite a few bases for that. What my thought is to have a series of heavy foot and medium foot options, because I've got enough figures, might as well use them. And then I can also have a few marked as elite, and they can Gauls, Galatians, British, random stuff in for a Roman army, or generic warband figure, because guy with a big sword, it's like a warband.
I think the Galatians is well. Hubert used to think that the early Germans was the best one of that, but I had some good success with the Galatians. I remember seeing that one. And then I did a competition with the Brits where I used all the chariot option. I think with 16 chariots, which bizarrely actually worked in a really tight period when no one else had any decent mounted. But okay, so you've got the medium foot already and the light foot, I guess. So is that army now basically you've done that in a week and you're not going to be able to play with it for 3-4 months?
Yeah, so I've got the medium cavalry option coming on the cavalry option, because the purpose of the army originally was for campaign for the Gaul and Roman period. Yeah. Yeah, so there's 2 other Simons in the club, so we were going to go as Simon Says. And so I'd gone for the Roman army option because it gave me an excuse to repaint the army.
No, I think I was in that theme as well, but I was still toying with whether. I think I was going to go with the Germans actually to try the slightly different version of the Galatian army and field that. But obviously, I think campaign's now been kicked back to October by all accounts. I think so. Yeah, I think
Please hold.
I think they're at the beginning of what should be the half-term week. That is, of course, assuming that the school terms don't all get messed
So
up.
currently, as of today, and we use that proviso, as of today's news, campaign 2020 is now scheduled for the 17th and 18th of October.
Wow.
Then roll call is now the weekend after that, at the end of October.
Blimey.
I'll have to check the diary. I might even be able to go.
It's possible. Well, I think the theory is just getting as many events into the calendar as possible, because some of them may still fall by the wayside, really. And
So
my parents' event is dependent on it not being the anniversary of when my parents or parents-in-law passed away, and these people had no regard for the wargaming calendar when they turned up their toes.
Right. Did I was going to say, well, I don't want to pry, but did they both pass away at the same weekend? Or
No. My father-in-law took campaign weekend, and my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, managed to stop me going to warfare one year. Mother-in-law, I don't mind so much. She was really sweet. My father-in-law could start a fight in an empty room.
Right. So missing a wargaming competition for someone like that's a bit of a downside then.
Yeah, he's been dead over 30 years, but we still have to observe the formalities.
Right. And you can't do those whilst rolling dice. That'd just be a step too far.
Well, I'd rather survive the weekend with both knackers intact.
Yeah, I suppose that works. That's good. Okay.
This means war.
Dave, have you? Because I remember many car trips coming back from various places with you, and you've talked about either eBaying or dipping and redoing some of the old early armies from when you actually started getting into this at an advanced age, or very sort of sober age.
I've got exactly the same as Simon. I've got the Ancient British or Gauls, which I was just not. No, I did try dipping some things in that green stuff, was it? And it didn't really work much.
What about that beer that you got there? I can see that at the top of a particularly Teutonic-looking beer bottle.
Yes, the Heffensteiner.
Oh, nice. Weiss beer.
Weissenheffens. What's it?
Oldest brewery in the world.
Oh, right, in Heffer Weissbier. How far down your supply are you of that one?
There's 4 left in the fridge.
There's still 4 left in the fridge, so a couple of days more painting, and you'll be sending out for mail order.
Beer 52 people have got a new offer out, haven't they?
Yeah, no, I think I sent that. Was it me who sent that to you? Or?
No, I signed up with your invite, but I've.
Oh, brilliant!
They sent me another email the other day saying they're having an online beer festival.
Oh, right, okay.
They send you 12 bottles of beer, and then you sit there, and if you really want to, you go online with other people.
No, I'm chugging through the this month's box set. So this is something completely one of these weird ones. Whenever you get mail order beer,
Yeah,
this is
Glen
Affric Field of Creams. It's a cream soda pale ale, but it's
sounds like it might be Scottish.
It's suitable for vegans. Which I don't know whether that's a thing.
I think it's Scottish, and it does taste of cream soda.
It does. Have you had the same box set?
I had one of those. Yes,
yeah.
I did have one of those.
Yeah, a simple pale ale base infused with the classic flavour of sweet vanilla ice cream, which well, I think we're all bloody desperate at the moment, really, aren't we? So you've got to live with this stuff. It's I'm not sure I'd order a whole pint of it, but it's there, and it lubricates the throat while we're chatting stuff away.
Yeah, I was thinking, if you've doused your troops in Dettol to clean the paint off, at least they'll be hygienic.
Yes. Well, someone's going to get
October. They'll be clean and hygienic.
Well, some of them are going on eBay at the moment. I've got some 1/300 scale stuff that me and my brother used to play. These enormous, more tanks than the British Army now has. Sort of games of. I think it was Challenger 2.
Yep, Challenger 2000.
Challenger 2000, yes, that was it. What a staggeringly... And there were just little cardboard markers all over the table. Every ATGW, you'd put a firing marker and a target marker, and then you'd roll for... I don't know how
You'd have to work out whether there was front armor, side armor, rear armor, where you were hull down, turret down, whether you're firing AFPSDS in using IR and all that.
It was like atmospheric pressure was one of the tables or something like that almost. It was staggering.
It was one of those games where I remember we first played it and we thought this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then Cold War Commander came out and we went, this is too simple. And then about a minute later we went, what are we thinking?
What were we doing for all those years? Yeah.
Bring on that rule system.
Yeah. Although there's still people out there who like it. I put occasionally when I'm browsing eBay, I've got a button to sort of copy some of the eBay stuff over onto Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a couple of nights ago, someone was trying to sell, or still is, I think, some set of the Shock of Impact rules on eBay for about a tenner. And I was thinking that's quite expensive given the toilet paper shortage at the moment. That's quite well priced, but because that was sort of, somebody had looked at WRG 5th and thought, this isn't complicated enough. It's not got enough tables in it. Let's fix that. It plays too quickly. Let's fix that. But,
slow it down.
Yeah, and
you make it more realistic by putting more factors into it. That's the.
I think the more troop definitions, the more weapon classes, the more factors. They all make it much more realistic as a set of rules.
Absolutely, yes.
But I posted this on Twitter, effectively saying, "My God, what were we all up to?" And I think at least a couple of people, including some people I know and quite like. Cheers, Phil, if you're listening. All went back and said, I really enjoyed that set of rules. And it's just like, wow. But then again, we're a broad church. Us wargamers. So there's definitely people out there. Well, there's still people out there who play Challenger 2000, I think. There's a few of them. Well, did it move into being called Battle Group or Battle something? BMGR?
That's a completely independent set of rules, I think.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. That's different. I think Challenger 2000 stayed by Bruce Ree as one set of rules, and then someone created a new set or evolved, and then a complete offset of them. So
okay. Yeah, but no. So I've got 70 little AFVs on eBay at the moment, and it just forces me to go out for a daily walk to the post office when the thing closes. No, not to the post office, to the post box. Yep. So I can post them without actually talking to anyone at all, which is going to be the secret.
This means war.
I was painting a few Normans. Here's a picture of them. Just hold them up there.
That's very good, Andy, but your video's not on.
Yeah, so
that's a minor detail.
I didn't know how my video. How do I get my video on?
You press the button called Start Video.
Yeah, bottom left-hand corner. It'll say Start Video.
No, it's it. Yeah, right, I'll try that one then.
Sorry, we actually thought you were just dialing in on a phone. We didn't realise you were just rubbish at computer stuff. Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Hello. Anyway, so these are War and Empire.
Lift them up.
Normans.
Aha.
And they're the ones which I screwed up the shields on, but I've now put the shield patterns on. Thanks for you.
Nice.
Right. So what happened there then? What happened there?
Well, I had this box with my Kickstarter stuff that I bought from War and Empire for the Dark Ages. And rather than paint the whole bunch of Vikings, I thought, well, since I'm doing a Normans in Italy army, I just do these guys as the dismounts. And I forgot I'd ordered a set of shield patterns for them.
From what, LBMS?
Then when I was going through this morning, I thought, bugger, there they are. I'll better put them on.
So you painted the shield.
They look a lot better than they did before, let me tell you.
So you painted the shields and then found the shield transfers, painted all the shields out, cut out 15 mil LBMS transfers.
They're actually these ones are actually a lot easier than the Roman ones. For some reason, the Roman ones are just a bugger, but these are very easy. Okay,
because I would have thought if you bought an army's worth of LBMS shield transfers, that's the kind of thing you can't really forget because you probably had straight in your car or something.
No, I already had most of the Normans, and these are I just got a few filler bits for the Norman army. I bought an entire Viking army and main bit of a Saxon army. And I bought more shield transfers for them. So I knew I had them.
Right. You just mislaid these ones.
I just forgot I had them. Yeah.
Okay.
When I was rummaging through the box, I found them.
Right, and so they're ready to dismount. Okay.
Yeah. What I've done is I've done 3 stands as spearmen and three as swordsmen, so I can kind of mix and match them depending on what I want them to be.
Yeah. See what they're doing. Okay. Cool. So, have I actually done any painting this week? I think I've done some Magna Base after we talked about Magna Base and stuff. In fact, there's been a chat on the club forum about. I think Dave, you're the one with the religious attachment to super tiny weenie magnets.
Well, no, I just think it's because when we're going around Europe, we do a lot of travelling on the tube. We go on the trains, and if you have put as much effort into painting them, the Magna Base is good. I mean, I find I have to put bubble wrap all over the figures, including the Magna Base if we're flying and that. But with the generals, with the Earth magnets, you can even clip them to your lights. You can clip them upside down.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. No, that's completely stuck, isn't it?
Upside down.
So do you do the whole army with rare earth magnets or just the generals?
So far I've just done the generals, but then recently I've been thinking, with the painting I've been doing recently, I was thinking if you made all that effort to so war bases will cut holes in the bottom of the base on request for a small charge.
Yep.
And I'm thinking if you get, say, a 40 by 30 and put 2 holes in the bottom of it and an earth magnet in either bit, that'll hold.
Yeah, that works because I bought an army from I think it was Gary Holiday, and he got Magna bases. He got the war bases ones with little holes and 2 earth magnets, and 2 of those hold a 40 by 30 base of figures quite well.
Completely solidly. Yeah, they're good. So, but I guess what do you just buy like 1,000 of them from China on eBay or
No, war bases do the magnets as well. But
okay. God, wow. All right. So
they will do the 5mm magnets are much. Oh well, that's the ones I've got. To be honest, the difficulty you've got is separating them from each other. I am not joking.
Yeah,
and if you are sticking them into a little round base with the hole, if you wave another magnet near it, the whole lot comes apart.
Yes, yeah, you've got to be really careful about how you glue it together, haven't you?
And their holes are really, really snug. I mean, they're on all parts of war bases. Their holes are very snug in the little base.
Yep.
So the magnet goes in, you don't need to glue it in place. They're not going to fall out or anything.
Right. Would you just put filler over the top of it and that's what seals it?
Then I just glue the figure on top and so far so good.
Okay. So the glue...
I've been doing generals with that because you put a bit of effort into generals. But now I'm thinking, it's a whole nether project. It'd be the next, if I'm doing a whole army, it needs war bases to be back online.
Yeah, true.
Hibernation for obvious reasons.
You're not going to buy a Dremel off eBay and then start reverse engineering the magnet.
Well, I have got a Dremel here, but I'm not going to start trying to laser cut my own.
Actually, shall we have a who's got a Dremel? And I'll be holding my.
I've got one.
Andy, you're missing out. You're the only Dremel free guy. And do you have just a Dremel, or do you have the proper Dremel and the lever arm sort of? Oh, Dave, don't go all dentist on me.
I have the lever arm as well.
Yeah, I've got the lever arm
and
as well.
I got the corded one. Have you got that one?
Yeah, I've got the corded one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I find it really helpful so you can get the right angle.
Somewhere kind of.
So for the ignorant among us, what exactly is a Dremel?
Well, it's like a drill, a little hand drill, and then if you get this kind of clever thing, you can pull this handle and it just goes straight down. So it means you can do spears and things and you're absolutely sure that they're going to go on the right.
It's more of a precision hand drill rather than using the old Black & Decker ball drill, which can work. Not very precise though.
Not particularly well.
I think a hand drill for drilling spears would be actually quite useful. It might treat it to one.
Yeah,
hand drill doesn't get enough power to really go through some of the tougher metal.
Yeah, well, some like the Donington figures, because they've got the closed hands.
Yeah.
If you try to do it with a hand drill, like a pin vise, you'll die of old age.
Yeah.
So pair of pliers to hold the model and then just go vit, vit,
Yeah.
and you can get them done in a matter of seconds.
And then the other
And you do that without breaking the hand off.
Yeah, if the drill's going high speed enough, yeah, and it's a good enough drill bit, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the
So do you have,
go on.
how thick is your drill bit? It must be about 7 mil or something like that.
Oh, you buy a whole set of them again. I've got some down to whatever 0.75 or 0.55. Yeah, all these tiny ones on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These ones, you can buy 10 of them on eBay from China. They tend to shatter quite easily.
You've really got to, well, we're all sat here wearing glasses, but you've really got to wear protective goggles or something.
Yeah.
They do ping off.
I found some really good drill bits recently. What they've done, which is quite nice, is you've got the actual drill bit, which is quite slender. So it's like, 1 mil, 2 mil, whatever.
Yeah.
But then what they did is they made the actual shaft that goes into the Dremel a lot thicker with a protective bezel. So it means you can clamp it better so you don't get it off kilter or whatever like that. And it just seemed to not break as quickly. They still broke.
Yeah. Well, I think anything with a thicker shaft for better grip is always good, isn't it? Dave, you've got them.
Similar like those ones.
You've got them. You're waving
That's
that
my wife said.
You're waving your thickly shafted drill bits at the camera. That's good.
They're very good, but there was a run on them for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So is this another eBay thing then?
Yeah, they're on eBay.
Is it safe to again go onto eBay and type thickly shafted? No.
Well, I'm not sure. China must be very easy to get them from at the moment.
No, true. No, well, postage is stopping from everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to order something from Spain from Rafa. He's got a wargaming cloth with hex with 1UD maps on it, squares on it.
Yeah.
The postage and Royal Mail said, don't even think about it.
It's just not happening anymore, is it? No.
Yeah, they just said only the essential items are being delivered by truck. Right. Everything else, it'll get when it gets there.
It'll get when it gets there. Oh, God, yeah.
That gets my idea of wargaming at home.
Yeah. Well, Andy, the other final really good thing about a Dremel is, when you buy like a whole army that you don't really need, and you sort of self-justify about the cost of it and go, well, if it's this and that, and then you sort of try and forget about it. With a Dremel, you look at it and go, I just spent 2 armies worth on something just to drill out people's hands for holding spears. What is going on with that? Just surely there's a better way of doing this, but then you can just protect. It's like a real big thing that sits there and goes, do not even try and remember how much I cost relative to how often I'm using it.
It's a long-term investment, trust me.
It's got to be a long-term
At my age, I'm not sure that's a good idea.
I think I got mine on eBay and it's fairly cheap, I think.
Well, I think we all got them on eBay, but then, once you start getting into the piece of machinery.
No,
in fact, I might have got mine with them.
I think I might commission someone to drill the figures for me.
Yeah, that's actually a much better option. In fact, I've got a Dremel, and for a very reasonable price, you can post them over to me, and I'll have a go at that. But
this means war.
We were supposed to be,
certainly, thank you.
We were supposed to be talking about something vaguely sensible, rather than just chatting on this one, weren't we? There was a topic.
Talk about my army for the one dayer.
There was armies for the Central London one dayer, which will now not happen until possibly later. And the theory of this, it's a 1 day art de la guerre competition, 200 points, and Mike Bennett had come up with the plan of use an army with a strategist, which are the kind of the great generals of history. Not every army is allowed one. Only ones with somebody famous tend to get one. It just gives you a little bit extra command and control, but at a greater cost than your normal generals. And then I think the other caveat was you had to use all of the command points that army had. So
correct.
Most of the strategists tend to come in armies with really high command values. So you end up buying, if you go that way, you'd end up buying an expensive leader and a set of really good number 2 and number 3 generals as well for most of those armies, which would suddenly start to eat dramatically into your points, and make it a more interesting choice than just armies with a strategist. So because some of the
The other
armies
thing
with
is you
structures
can't have heavy knights or foot knights.
and heavy knights or foot knights. So you're kind of getting into your Genghis Khan and his Mongols with really great command and control, but expensive small armies to start with that you make even smaller by having high value command. So, Andy, this was your kind of topic idea, so you've clearly given this some thought. So which one were you looking at using?
I was going to go for Normans in Italy. I can't remember the army number. It's about 180 or thereabouts. It's got a command rating of 3.
Okay, which is pretty low.
So,
Norman high rating is 5 or 6, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 would have been perfect, but 3 I can live with. And the nice thing about it is you can have 8 elite knights, and because you've got to have a strategist, even though they're impetuous, you can keep them under control.
Okay.
And you can also have other knights as well. So my army was basically a shitload of knights and some other bits to fill in, but I still managed to get, I think, 21 units in my army.
So basically, your solution to the concept of a competition that is pushing you towards armies with real high quality command and control was just a wall of impetuous knights that just charge forwards in a big line.
Kind of, but there was one. Well, there is one sub command with an integral general, which is small enough to hide in an ambush marker, or keep as a narrow maneuverable command off as a flank march. If you put them as a flank march with only 3 units, if it doesn't turn up, the army's not going to fall over that quickly. But they can be useful, and
so would this have been like an army composition that you'd use in the real world? Because I think, Dave, this is an army you've used, isn't it? Normans in Sicily.
You've used it as well.
Have I? Oh, I used it years ago when we first started, didn't I?
You used. We had a game that we played each other when you used it.
That was one of the first competitions, wasn't it? Yeah.
But in this, I like it because I like the Almogavars. But you don't get the Almogavars in the Normans in Sicily because it's a sub army with a certain general.
So the strategist is Frederick II.
Yeah, 1215 to 1250 is the years, I think, or something like that.
Which is not a bad old time, 35 years for a general in those days. Maybe he got to be a strategist because he was so old. Unless he started really young.
I think he was a pretty good guy, actually. He was. He wandered around with concubines and took leopards with him when he went to meetings with the Holy Roman Empire.
What, multiple leopards or?
Because he was born and grew up in Sicily with his mother. His father was the Holy Roman Emperor in Germany.
Right.
And the German knights weren't very impressed when he showed up in a very effete manner with concubines and leopards.
So he was a bit Oriental.
The 13th century.
Yeah, that's kind of racist.
Have I got the wrong thread here? I'm trying to remember my ancient medieval history wrong.
I'm not sure. His son, the Emperor Frederick, fought against the Pope.
No, I think it is him.
It was the previous one.
I'd imagine the Pope would have approved of him.
Well, I think he was declared the Antichrist, Fred, was at one point.
Oh, right.
Well.
I think the Pope probably didn't approve of him.
Yeah, but these things happen in the Holy Roman Empire, aren't they?
Yeah. I think
just a bit of anti-Christendom is always kind of good.
He was quite an enlightened guy, apparently.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So you, Andy, you going back, your theory was get one really good general who can keep a load of knights under control until you let them go.
Well, the command with the generals, with the strategists, has got 6 elite impetuous knights and 2 impact knights. And the idea is the impact knights would be one on each flank to cover the other guys when they go forward. And it also has a small modest foot command to go through terrain or try and unpick a corner of somebody trying to park their butt on terrain.
Okay.
And then one small command with an elite, with an included general in an impetuous knight, and a sort of small foot command that kind of tries to keep out of trouble and shoot people.
Yeah, no, because I think shooting might be quite handy in this one with all these sort of pushing you towards high quality mounted armies in some way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, against high quality mounted armies, I take my chance on the way in with the because my guys are elite and armored. They got a reasonable chance of fending off arrows from shooting mounted, and shooting mounted aren't going to want to fight them.
No, not at all. Not at all. They just get run down, wouldn't they, by medium knights?
Yeah. And I reckon that medium knights are kind of because there's no heavy knights and no foot knights, and that would probably take out most of the armies with longbows, apart from medieval English. You're probably fairly safe.
Yeah.
From being shot at by anything seriously dangerous.
And then if there's any,
so I reckon they were kind of top of the food chain, and
if there's any elephants around, you can always dismount
if you need to.
And you've just painted up the dismount, so that's a result.
Yeah,
perfect stuff. So
yeah, well, I'd rather yeah. So Dave, if I ever get a chance to try it in competition, I'll probably get my hand handed to me. But I've got the army.
That's good. It's painted. So Dave, what was yours going to be?
Well, as you were saying, so the strategist and having to have all the command points was a very clever touch, I thought. And that did sort of mean that taking Byzantines, Mongols. I mean, if you take a Byzantine army, you've got to take 5 command points, which is basically 2 brilliant, strategist, brilliant general, and a competent general. And if you want to take the 14-point guardsman, mounted bow, heavy cavalry, elites, impact and bow at 14 points, you're not going to get. So I did much like Andy.
Yeah.
Went looking through the medievals and found feudal English with Richard the Lionheart himself. So it's 1195. It's kind of similar. You've got a strategist and 2 competent generals. The strategist is there to control medium knight impetuous. You get 21 units in the army, which I thought was going to be really good in this competition.
Is that a lot of light foot to bulk it out? Or?
Well, actually, the nice bit I found in there was I've got 4 longbowmen.
Wow, that's kind of sneaky.
In a competition where you're going to have a lot of expensive, good mounted, the longbowmen are going to shred your Mongols. They're going to, if you've got a couple of longbowmen working alongside impetuous knights and medium knights, then they're going to shred everything.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, all mountains just got run, hasn't it? It can't even stand in front and shoot. The longbowman will shoot them down.
No.
And, part of my rationale was if I charge in with enough of the guys, even though I might lose 1 or 2 to being shot at, the rest of them are going to arrive and then make life unpleasant for whatever's standing in front of them.
Exactly. Anyway, so I've got eight knights in this army.
Yeah, you've got to have some spearmen as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, you've got 2 compulsory spear. I mean, so it's 8 knights, 4 longbow, 2 spear. But what was really also nice about this list was you get 2 javelin men in there. So the javelin men, if you do come up against an elephant army like a Ghaznavid or something like that, then you're really going to be able to deal with that as well.
Yeah,
swamp them.
Do you think those both of you? Do you think those knighty armies would fare well against somebody who brings Alexander the Great or something with
no?
Pikes,
I think
pikes and elephants.
I think that would be a difficult army to fight for me, Alexander the Great, because you wouldn't want to be fighting the pike. You want to find what else you can fight.
Is that a world of dismount? Do you think, or would you just try and sweep it? No.
No, I think Alexander's got a control of 5, I think. So again, you have a strategist, you're going to have a brilliant general, a competent general. It's going to be very hard for an Alexander army. I've used Alexander a lot. You'd be very tough to get 19 out of that army, and you'd have quite a bit of dross in there, with the elephants. So you're not going to overwhelm his companions. You've got some javelin, and you've got a couple of spear to entertain the rest of it. I don't think it'd be a problem.
I think it'd be even better going with Alexander and Macedonian, because then the knights wouldn't have the chance to dismount.
Yeah, possibly. Does that even have a strategist? Well, I suppose it does if it's Alexander and Macedonian. It must do, for sure.
It doesn't have any elephants.
Okay. Or take an elephant-free Alexandrian, tricky one. Yeah. So I think it depends though. Dave, I can see Dave's point though. If you dismount the knights, they dismount as heavy spearmen, not mediums, don't they? The medium knights.
You can dismount them as heavy spear or heavy sword, but they've only got 3 cohesion hits.
But once they're heavies, they're a bit less manoeuvrable, though, aren't they, than the medium ones? When you get cavalry dismounting.
Yeah, and they lose their impetuosity.
Right. Yeah. So they lose quite a big part of what they're doing.
So Alexander the Great's command is 6.
Oh, you've used half your army on just command points, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean
that's enormous.
That's going to be a strategist and 2 brilliant generals.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? It's just bonkers.
Great for rallying troops.
Yeah. Once they get wiped out, it's going to be tricky.
So the early Macedonian, Alexandrian Macedonians command of 5 with that Philip or Alexander, and that's with the pike.
It sort of needs the elephants to give you that extra edge against knights, though, doesn't it? Otherwise, you're just hoping they charge the pike.
Yeah, but then I've developed some strategies for that. I think we've all been looking for the right strategy to play against elephants for a long time. And I think finally, after how many years we've played this, I think I'm starting to get to a point where I know how to do that.
But you're not going to tell us.
Well, I like to have a little micro command, which has got a couple of spearmen to pin things. And then it's got javelin and a medium foot to spin around the edges. And that causes enough of a problem to allow you to swamp the other sides of it.
So you just screen them off with a micro command, really, and then mug the rest of it. So
with my feudal Spanish now, I have a little micro command, which is 2 spearmen, 1 Almogavar, and 2 bowmen.
Okay.
And an unreliable general, and that sort of sits 1/3 of the way into the table, and people think, oh, I'll smash that to pieces. But it's a lot more difficult. I mean, it gives the other person a real problem. Do they come forward and try and activate your unreliable general? It's a fun command, and people think that's easy points or not. There's a lot of subtlety to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Without being too big-headed.
Yeah. No, it seems to work. So Simon, have you got a theory for this competition?
My theory devolved to what recently had I painted up for a strategist, rather than this whole scientific thing. So I was looking at basically the Central London theory of ooh shiny. So I was going to bring my samurai again, because I've just recently painted up a samurai strategist from Bad Squiddo Games.
Oh, fantastic.
So I just like the idea of my samurai, scythe, chariot, dragon, ninjas, and mass bow.
Which would still hold its own against most mounted armies anyway.
Yeah, because the only difference for a samurai strategist is in the period to have the strategist, I can't have the 2 light horse. Oh dear.
No, I think that's actually a better option for the samurai, because you get more control over terrain. The strategist gives you that extra terrain piece move. So I think that's actually better than having the light horse.
And
good argument for it.
You've only got a command of 4 anyway, so having a strategist is not going to really impact you. So having a mass of medium swordsmen, elite medium swordsmen with bow, and being elite is going to ruin a lot of medieval medium knight stay, and it looks really pretty. So,
yeah, when I tried a game with the Ottomans, but I don't think I used all the full command points, but certainly the 4 Janissaries, even though they were the crappy dregs of the old glory bag that Dave gave to me after he picked all the decent models out of it, they still shot quite well. They were kind of reasonable, and you could sort of stand up even against foot. So you get 2 or 3 rounds of shooting, and you are going to knock a hit point off most heavy foot coming towards you, and then suddenly you're better than them by the time you get into combat, which was quite spectacular. But I guess if it's samurai, it's samurai, isn't it? There's not there's only so many ways you can skin that particular Japanese cat.
Basically, yeah.
Just a samurai army, yeah. Well, I toyed with Ottomans. I might have gone for it. I've not really settled, but I was also thinking about Seljuk Turk, because I've been working through the different Arab armies, but I've not really got to many of those later ones. And Seljuk Turks have a strategist called Alp Arslan, and I just thought that would be quite funny. But it would allow me to use all my other, Arab Ghulam figures, and I've got a reasonable amount of practice with those sorts of armies. You can sneak in, he's 1063 to 1072, so there's nothing particularly special about it, but it's just a big mass of impact cavalry and some heavy cavalry bow. So that just, in theory, allows you to run it almost as a Mongol army with a bit more punch, a bit more kind of forward forward motion rather than just relying on shooting people. You can actually charge into some of them, but just use mobility. And then
I think at least heavy cavalry bows are a very expensive troop type for what it is.
Yeah, I think if you go too many of them, you end up just with a line, and then you start trying to evade, and then some of them get caught, and then it all goes horribly wrong. Or then you end up standing to fight, and you're only getting 1 or 2 shots in, and you're not really getting the value. I think if you have two, it's one of those things. If they're in small numbers, coordinated with something else, they're good. But just on their own, they don't make an army at all. As I demonstrated in the States with Sassanids, some reports which I'm currently writing up at the moment to do that. But I guess we will all find out this hopefully later in the year, or possibly even not too much later in the year, when this all gets resolved and sorted out. We're back to rolling dice and hopefully drinking beers down the pub rather than drinking beers at home that have come by mail order.
This means war.
With questions?
Yeah, so yes, this is a new feature from Andy Finkel-kel-kel-kel, a bit like Ulrika from that Reeves and Mortimer show. So we're going to end this week's episode with Andy with, is it 3 questions, and then provided we all make it back next week, and or Andy makes it back next week, and someone else can press record. We will get the answers to these 3 questions next week. So, Andy, and actually, I'll probably have to leave a gap here because I'm going to have to find some special Andy Finkel quiz music for this particular thing. And let's assume that the music's happening about now.
Comment les voir? Question. Le trou est sans fond. Question. La légende le dit. Question. Elle dit aussi. Question. C'est une maladie.
And then Andy, fire away with your 3 questions.
Right. The answer to these 3 questions is the name of a general, and each of these is somebody who President Lincoln is reputed to have made a quote about. So I'm going to read the 3 quotes, and they're all attributed to Lincoln, whether or not that's actually correct, but you need to identify the name of the general for the answer. So the first one is, "This man fights. Find out what whiskey he drinks and send some to all my generals."
Solid. Good.
The second quote is in response to a report by this general from, quotes, headquarters in the saddle, quotes, Lincoln asked, "Why does this general have his headquarters where other generals have their hindquarters?" And the third one is a comment he said, "This is not the Army of the Potomac. This is General X's bodyguard." So who was General X?
Okay, that's I'm guessing they're probably American Civil War questions, and the answer is they've all got beards. But Alexander the Great's not going to feature very highly. But look, the challenge for anybody listening is, can you work this out without Google? And next week we will unveil the answers, or next week, or when we get around to doing this next time, we will unveil the answers. It should be about a week, and we will come up with another 3 questions for you next week. So.
Question. Le trou est sans fond. Question. La légende le dit. Question. Elle dit aussi. Question. C'est une maladie. Question.
So, Dave, what else have I got to look forward to in this box set? And is there any that have really stood out in the beer box set?
There's a tiny rebel in there.
There's a tiny rebel.
Yeah, that's a good brewery.
Okay, all right. I'll maybe dig that one out then after the end of this. But
yeah,
I think we're just about coming up to the hour then, so that's not bad.
This means war.
So thank you from me. Thank you from Simon, I guess.
Cheers, guys.
Dave, you're still painting away.
I'm here.
And Andy?
Good night.
Good night. And we'll say thank you from Peter anyway. He was here in spirit. And thank you for listening to a second one of these.
And the next question, for the tiebreaker for this week is, did Peter get his toilet paper?
Exactly, yeah. So he's made it back from the zombie apocalypse, and I'm not sure we want to really open next week with that question because there's 2 possible answers, and one of them I don't want to know about. But look, on that note, on that bombshell, as they used to say, but much more appropriate for war games podcast, I think, than programs about cars. We will love you and leave you, and stay safe out there, and see you
Happy
next week.
painting.
Happy painting.
Yep.